What is going on, everyone? It's your guy Cole Jackson back here on Road Graders, and today we are going to be diving into one of the Baltimore Ravens rookies that is getting some of the most hype. It's AENEAS PEEBLES, interior defensive lineman out of Virginia Tech, has gone through his first 2 preseason games, and we are here to break it all down. If you're looking forward to this, hit that like button, hit subscribe if you're new here, and drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think of his debut so far. Couple reflections just before we jump into it. Obviously, there's a lot of hype. You saw the coaches gushing about him. They see the upside. They see the explosiveness. All that stuff that we saw in his Virginia Tech tape, we're starting to see in the NFL. And so what I want to do in this video is not only show those positives that we've seen in preseason, but also show some of the issues that he's going to have to work on, because we have to keep in mind this is a late round rookie. He has a lot of development to do. There's going to be highs, there's going to be lows, and I think it's really important for us as a fan base to, acknowledge that and watch his development happen. He's only going to get better, but I saw a couple comments about Peoples keeps ending up on the ground. So we'll take a look at that and see why it's happening. And I'm actually going to make the case that some of these times he's ending up on the ground is actually a good thing. So we're going to kind of get into it. So like I said, if you're looking forward to this, hit that like button. So we're going to start here with this pass rush game. Obviously, that's what the Ravens thought when they drafted him that they'd be getting. Let me turn my screen brush on so that we have that available to us. And let's run through these clips. So we're going to see, this is the type of high octane rusher he is. So he's lined up as a 2-eye technique against the left guard. He's going to press outside, and then once he gets to the outside, he's going to spin back in. And you see him right there end up at the quarterback's feet. And this is just like, for a young, because he does a lot of things that you wouldn't really expect. So we see here he's going to, I think the most important thing is going into the secondary pass rush move. So he's going to use that hand swipe right there, inside hand. So he used that left inside hand to push down on the outside hand to create that spot here, but he doesn't think he has the lane to bend that corner. So that's when he's going to set and spin back inside. That actually plays into the guard's favor, but it's having a pass rush plan where he's logically putting together pass rush moves. Now, we're going to see here in a minute how sometimes it hurts him, but him having the confidence, that's what I'm going to say, the confidence to go into these pass rush sets with this type of high effort, this type of approach where, he wants to get after the quarterback and he's not afraid to try a double hand swipe, skip step, try a spin move, use a swim move, like stuff that you don't always see on the interior, I think is out, but he uses his hands very effectively here. So right off the rip, he's going to drive the inside chest plate into a nice bull rush. And he kind of drives 71 back a few steps. But then what he does is as he drives, you can see his helmet. He starts to work that outside leverage point. So he's pushing in with this outside hand, pushing in through that armpit. And that's what opens up the arm over for him to take that lane. And I think that was incomplete. Here we have him against the Cowboys. Again, he's lined up as a 4-eye technique across from number 75, the right tackle. So this is what I like about his game. We talked about this when we drafted him, that you can move him outside, and I can really see him developing into a piece that pairs well with Matabike, where you're going to split him over here, Matabike here, and then you got your 2 edge rushers, because what it's going to do is it's going to force this center to slide wide, right? So he's got to either slide to the 3 tech or slide to the 4-eye tech. And by doing so, you split that line in half and you create one-on-one, one-on-one, or one-on-one, one-on-one, depending on where the center slides. So this is what I like to see. I love seeing this type of set. And, comes in with a very effective, he gets the pressure on a stunt, and I love him in the stunt game. It's going to be a wide stunt. He actually ends up wrapping all the way over to the opposite side B gap. So there's that explosive athleticism. So 94 is going to cross the face of the left guard. He starts to the outside of the right guard, and he's going to wrap this entire way and still force the quarterback. That's a pressure right there. He affects the quarterback. So I think seeing this stuff is really, really positive. I want to see him more in the stunt game. I think with his explosive athleticism, I think it's a really good fit, and I think it fits really well into as he comes inside. So CJ Ravenel is going to line up as a 0-eye technique. So he's going to be just shaded to the side of the center. He's going to cut across. Peoples is going to wrap. So they're running the stunt here with their defensive tackles. So there goes Ravenel gutting in, splitting the guard in the center. Peoples is going to wrap as he does. Now here's what I like to see. So he's going to come across, but he sees Gonclaves, their right guard, coming across, and so he's going to swim back inside. That's what I mean, the confidence here. And this is against the Colts. Again, we're seeing a lot of positive stuff here. I think the key takeaways are his explosive athleticism, his pass rush plan, and his ability to diversify his move set. So we've already seen him spin, rip, swim. Like, it's kind of crazy when you think about it. And this is a lot of these reps are against the Colts. He actually didn't play a whole lot against the Cowboys. So he only has about 60 defensive snaps, and I believe 35 of them, or 45 of them, are against the pass rush. He's only had about 10 or 15 against the run. So here we're going to see him outside again. They're going to mug both A gaps with that was damn near an interception. So very versatile. There's that athleticism. So love to see it. And then obviously there's some reps that we're going to have to take a look at and see, where some things go wrong. So here he's going to be matched up. Is this the rep that I wanted to look at? No, this is going to be, hold on. We're going to see a nice little rip under. So they're just going to run a boot motion. I just like the adjustment, and we're going to see him rip under with this inside arm. Just, again, showing a different pass rush move. There's that rip under right there to, create that space. I don't think that counts as a pressure, but this is the rep I want to take a look at. So he's going against Tyler Booker here, their first-round pick out of Alabama. I believe that was 16th overall, something like that. So you're going to see him get stunted here, right there. And so there's going to be reps like this, and that's okay. So, kind of what happens here is we broke this down when we looked at the Mike Green clip. So the Ravens are showing 4, 5, 6, 7. They have a 5-man line, so he's reading inside out. So he's going to focus on this linebacker first. 75, the right tackle, is looking at Peebles. Green would be a free rusher, but as the two linebackers back out, he's going to adjust, and Booker just gets his hands on early, and you can see right there, those hands get inside real early, and that's just Peebles has to keep his chest clean. I wouldn't say it was a consistent problem, but you can see right here, that's like perfect pass protection. He's got his arch back. He's lifted up on his chest plate. So there's definitely reps like this, which is fine. It's it's going to happen. Those offensive linemen get paid too. But sometimes when he gets into some of these pass rush sets, he kind of takes himself out of the play. And so here we're going to see where that type of creativity in the pass rush game can have, and sometimes those wild pass rush moves that can yield a great benefit by, a splash play, can lead to something like, him getting thrown into the ground. So here you're going to see him try and use that double hand swipe. So Booker's getting out there and he's hunting that into your chest plate, right? And so he's going to use both hands and try a skip step and a swipe, which is a wild move from an interior defensive line, but I love the creativity. And so as he tries to do that again, he gets knocked down. So you're going to see it here. He's lined up across from the right tackle. These things are going to happen. These things are going to happen often. It's his rookie year. So I really just want to show you guys both sides, right? So I think why that's happening is as he's going into these reps with a creative pass rush plan, there can obviously be negative effects where, the swim move might work or the swim move might give up his chest. The spin move might work or the spin move might, allow the guard to just kind of throw you on your butt, or you spin into a center. If you're spinning on the guard, you spin into the center. Now you're double teamed, you lose all your leverage. So that kind of stuff will happen. It's just going to be a matter of development. Then we get into his run defense, which I felt pretty good about. He was much better against the run than I was expecting. So you're going to see anytime it's a rep where it's a lateral movement, like an outside zone play, so you're going to see him going against the layer. So that's the type of block shedding I want to see from one of my defensive tackles. So good leverage creation. He's got his hands inside here. You can see his helmet. He's peeking, reading the play. And as soon as he sees Goodson, he sees taking that outside leverage because Goodson's pressing outside. As soon as Goodson starts to cut right there, so he's planted that foot. Peebles is reading that. He's going to then pull on that chest plate that way and come back inside, reacting to that cut right there, and then get in on the tackle. So that's very well played in my books. Very impressive. I think he moves laterally extremely well. See it again here. He's on the backside of this run, and you see him just kind of work through it, get in on that tackle. So, he's going to be tough to combo block because he can move laterally so quick. See him right here. He's going to split that double team. So he's going to go against a deuce block, the left guard and the left tackle right here. They're trying to squeeze him. He's going to use that up and arm over on that left guard right there. Get inside. Kind of gets taken out of the play, but this is one of those plays because that left guard so focused on sealing you down. It opens a big gap here for a linebacker to step up and fill that gap. We just didn't get, Isaac comes across a little slower, but still hell of a move by Peebles. And then you're going to see more of that lateral movement ability here. He's going to take a shot from Bortolini right there. He's going to take that shot. Gonclaves is blocking him, but fights to stay square and then fighting through that, and he ends up kind of in the bottom. So when he's taking on these double teams, sometimes he's lighter. You got to remember, he's 6'1", 290. He's a lighter defensive tackle, so he's going to take that contact point as Bortolini comes in and hits him, but he keeps himself square, so he resets himself and resets him right there. See how he resets, and he's going to plant that foot, and then that allows him to gain some leverage and then shed back inside, which he does right there, and then he ends up in the bottom of the pile. So this is what I mean by the effort. Like, he's never out of a play. This was a tough play that he kind of took on here. The Ravens did this down inside the goal line, so the Colts have two tight ends here, and they stack their defensive line. They got I always call him Lubin. Got Ruben Lowry up here, and then they basically leave a backside edge player and then a backside one tech in Peebles, and I think Peebles sheds this pretty well. They're just going to run zone to the right. You see Peebles come out of his stance, and he's just going to jack the center up. So nice right here. Watch his chest plate. He's going to get those nice low hands, and he's just going to lift, and you see he holds that line of scrimmage. And then the next step is, once he reads this, is just a quicker shed to get in there. This is only a gain of 1, but you can see it really crawled them towards it's just missing that kind of extra split second of shedding and getting his head across into that tackle so that he's not falling forward, especially on the goal line. Another rep here where he's going to take on a double team. So doing it very effectively. So, I mean, in my books, he's checking a lot of boxes. So, the question is, should we believe the hype? And, really what I wanted to accomplish in this video is say there's a lot of positives, especially for a late round defensive tackle. Like, the Ravens, I think, have a steal in AENEAS Peebles. And I just wanted to show, the flip side, where we might see some plays this year where he's trying one of his moves and he ends up on the ground. And that's okay, because I think there's going to be more positives than negatives. So that's really what I wanted to accomplish here. If you guys enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button, hit subscribe if you're new here. And as always, be good to yourselves, be good to each other. Peace out, everyone.